Hey everyone, welcome back to Kubrick Corner with me, Sean Wilson. So there's a new Jason Statham movie out, The Meg, which if you didn't know is short for Megalodon, as in massive fucking prehistoric shark that will eat you and hundreds of people around you for breakfast. So what I've just described there is essentially the plot of the movie, and it should be great, right? Wrong. Uh, Bit of a disappointment this one, I had to say, and I say that as a massive fan of Jason Statham. So Statham is a deep sea diver called Jonas, who was forced to leave a group of people behind owing to what he calls an intervention by a massive creature that led to an explosion of a nuclear submarine. Jump ahead 5 years later, he is called back by the team of a sort of deep sea aquatic research centre who are investigating the bottom of the Mariana Trench to go and rescue a group of people who are stranded at the bottom of the trench. Bow in the hold, they find out that the megalodon is very much alive, and it then comes up to the surface and causes havoc. Now, the whole idea of Jason Statham sort of fighting a prehistoric shark should, in theory, make for one of the most entertaining movie experiences of the year. I'm a massive fan of Jason Statham. I think he's carved out a niche as a real B-movie actor, somebody who is an incredibly visceral and physical action performer, yet who is acutely aware of the absurdity of the films in which he appears. One need only think of the Transporter and the Crank movies to see that, and also brilliantly in Paul Feig's movie Spy, in which Statham starred opposite Melissa McCarthy. That was an absolute genius bit of casting, because Paul Feig basically cast Jason Statham in that movie, and Jason Statham basically played the role as he would have done in the Transporter, but just modulated slightly into a more satirical vein, and that's brilliant. And basically he was as if he was appearing in the Transporter, but just doing it in a very, very poker-faced sort of manner, which made the comedy even funnier. That's probably the best thing Jason Statham's done. Sadly, The Meg isn't, and I think there's a number of reasons for this. I think the direction by John Turteltaub, who's best known in recent years for directing the National Treasure movies, is completely flat, and it's a dead calm of a movie. What you want is a sort of rampaging tempest of stupidity, filled with sort of, rampantly silly moments. And what you get is something that's weirdly marooned. You get something that's very bland, something that doesn't actually build up any kind of tension or fear within the scenario. And as we all know, any shark movie that doesn't actually build any sense of terror isn't working at all. I mean, obviously the textbook example of this is Jaws, but obviously every shark movie in the wake of Jaws owes a debt to it without getting close to it. I mean, the more apt comparison here would be something like Deep Blue Sea, which I really liked. I mean, I remember wearing the VHS of that. Remember those VHS? I remember wearing the VHS of that, very, very thin, back when it came out on video in sort of 2000, 2001. But this doesn't even get to that level. I mean, it has none of the snarky humour of Deep Blue Sea. It doesn't have any of the shocks of Deep Blue Sea. Deep Blue Sea was actually a genuinely nasty film, and there's one particular death sequence in it which, still catches me by surprise. I mean, I had nothing like that in this. It's a completely becalmed movie. It lacks any sense of wit or danger in the script that would make the scenario work, because you theoretically, rampaging giant sharks should be terrifying, right? Lots of people have been scared to go in the sea as a result of Jaws. Now this should tap back into that fear. It doesn't do it, and I actually think one of the reasons for that, weirdly enough, is the scenario itself. The fact that there's something less scary about a giant shark than there is about a sort of relatively ordinary sized shark that you've got in Jaws. Because with the shark in Jaws, when that comes and gets you, that feels like a more personal, intimate mano a mano battle. Whereas with this, with a shark that's capable of like sort of gulping like sort of dozens of people down in one go, it just feels a bit sensationalist, but it lacks that intimate stab of terror that you want from a shark movie. One might only need to think of films like The Reef recently, which is a really, really scary, underrated film, to know what films are capable of. I mean, really, this is nothing more than Sharknado versus Croctopus with a bigger budget, but I defy you to find anything in the performances in The Meg that is significantly better than Sharknado versus Croctopus, because it really, really isn't. I think Statham gives it his all, and I really like Jason Statham, and he is by far and away the best thing in the movie. And he is, as I said earlier, he is acutely aware of the nonsense that he's appearing in, but there is no character development whatsoever. And if there's no character development, even within a dumb movie like this, you do kind of need that in order to invest in it. And I think it's a real shame that the wittiest joke of the movie comes right at the very, very end. I won't give it away for those who haven't seen it yet, but you kind of think, where was that wit? earlier. I mean, there is one moment where Statham goes out into the sea to go and plant a tracking device on the big beastie, and he ends up singing. This is either improv or it was either in the script. I'm tempted to think it was improv. He starts to sing "Just Keep Swimming" from Finding Nemo. That was funny. There aren't enough characterful moments like that in it. It is a damp squib or damp squid of a film that never really raises the pulse, which I actually found quite boring. And I didn't want to find it boring. I thought the idea of Jason Statham punching a giant shark in the nose would be not riotously entertaining. But the movie doesn't let itself go enough. The movie doesn't let itself attain that level of stupidity. It doesn't ever seem to want to become that ridiculous, which I think is a big mistake. It holds itself in reserve, despite the fact that it's a massive, great big splashy effects movie. It doesn't ever want to go the whole hog, or the whole shark, I should say, and that's a real disappointment. So thumbs down for me on The Meg. It's a shame, not one of Jason Statham's best. What do you think about the movie? Drop me a comment here at Kubrick Corner and let me know. See you soon.